Karash versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Victory or death!
I feel icky.
Someday I'll be just like you!
My body bangs and twitches. This brown liquor wets my tongue. My fingers find the stitches. Firmly back and forth they run. I need no other memory of the bits of me I left when all this legal game is to hopefully forget about you.
What to do?
I might as well admit it, like I even have a choice. The crew have killed the captain, but they still can hear his voice. A shadow on the water, a whisper in the wind. On long walks with my daughter, who is lately full of questions about you. About you. When Job asked you the question, you responded, who are you to challenge your creator? Well, if that one part is true, it makes you sound defensive, like you had not thought it through enough to have an answer, or you might have bit off more than you could chew.
car open.
There's nothing I won't do. Anything you want me to. Make me feel you go be the arms. Come back with the charms. And I just don't ever do my morning feet. I can see you every day. But in my own little way, I love you. It really makes me want to sweet enough to
Require my
Well played.
I wish with all my might to have you. Lying here on the phone, I wait here by the phone to have you. Oh, it makes me wanna break out. So sweet, sweet enough to eat. My heart beats oh, one love. Now you know this just don't make no kind of sense. Walking around here is so intense. You make my heart beat. You make me feel so weak. Moving all around, from my head to the ground. You make my heart beat. You make me feel so weak. 'Cause everything you said went right straight to my head. Moving all around, from my head to the ground. Everything you said.
Jaina versus Garrosh.
Victory or death!
You asked for it.
I am Francisco Vasquez Garcia. I am welcome to Almeria. And we have Cingas and Leche. We have Fiesta
Hello.
and Fire. We have the son of the Shoshona. We have Brandy and half Corona. And Leonardo and his Aquarion. Calamari and Macaroni. Come on, you rambling boys of pleasure. And ladies of easy leisure. We must say adios until we say Amarillo once again.
reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're listening to the Happy Hearthstone. This show is brought to you by Doghouse Systems.
That's the combo and
To those
Blood
to some quick
and
general.
plunder.
based.
And how?
Lot. I would say you're probably losing games because you're not doing this.
Yeah, I've actually noticed this, and it also it helps me feel like I'm learning the other classes and how to play against them better. Because a lot of times, like against Mage, you brought up that example, they're heavy on removal, light on minions. So I'll toss away my removal unless I'm super worried about the Arcane Worm or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when
Mana
it gets
Worm.
to like Mana Worm, thank you. And then when it gets to like turn 4, and
I wonder.
that I look and that removal just would have been a dead card this whole time. Like I feel really good. Like oh yeah, I've kind of unlocked that's something. I've learned how to play better against them.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So how do you know what the enemy class wants to do? Is it just a matter of kind of reading up on meta deck?
And there's a lot of priests that thought steal your secrets. So
Oh.
I'm early game, so when they do cast their fast minions, they're more worried about clearing your minions than they are. The problem with those decks is they run out of gas really fast, and they're really bad against life gain. So Priest and Paladin just destroy Hunter now because they have life gain. Warrior destroys Hunter because they have the armor. It's going to be tough. I think the best Hunter deck that's going to come out is going to be some control Hunter deck that we haven't even seen yet.
Oh, you mean that control Hunter deck we saw like 6 months ago when we did the Hearthstone?
Yeah.
And the guy randomly won with a really bad Hunter control deck.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was just because Hunter was just so good.
Yeah.
I mean, Hunter. How did we know that Hunter was going to end up being the best class for a long time? I remember earlier on an earlier episode of Happy Hearthstone, you had a friend make you a Hunter deck, and this was before anyone played Hunter. And he basically made the mid-range Hunter Beast deck, which is basically the best Hunter deck ever. I mean, it didn't have exact same cards, but it was pretty close. And so Josh is winning and beating all of these people who are coming on his show, and we didn't even realize how good that Hunter deck was, because this was way before the Hunter meta even started.
Yeah, that was Dan's Hunter Beastmaster deck that topped this show for 6 months, I think. No one could beat it. It was either 5 or 6 months. Yeah, it's incredible. And I always think back to that deck because Dan actually put Hunter's Mark in that deck too, which at the time
Nobody
he got
played it.
ridiculed for.
Yeah.
Yeah, now everyone is complaining about how OP the card is.
Yeah, it was definitely a deck ahead of its time, and we should have paid more attention to that. We probably could have made Legendary just on that deck alone.
I know,
because it was so
right?
ahead of its time.
Yeah. Well done, Dan. Well done. All right,
Yeah,
but let's
definitely.
talk about. All right, so let's go with the fast Hunter deck. Let's assume that Hunter is going to be aggro, because that's what I've seen as well. In my not as high tier play as you. So the Hunter deck just wants to deal as much damage as fast as possible. Like you said, the hero power probably to close it out once you've stabilized the board.
Yeah, if you have if the Hunter has a bow, like the weapon, the bow, he has a kill command and he has a hero power, that's 10 damage in 1 turn off of 5 mana. So I mean that's a lot of damage that comes out of nowhere, and you're looking pretty grim pretty fast. Like if it's turn 4 and he's already gotten you down to like low 20s, next turn 5 he does 10 damage to you, and now you're at like 12. You're like, okay, well now he can just hero power me for 6 turns and do nothing else and still win. But he is going to do something else because that's his deck. the next turn he's going to cast an Arcane Golem and deal 4 more damage plus hero power. So then you're at 6.
Yeah.
So I mean, it can get out of control pretty quickly.
All right, so what is it that you're looking to do? Are you looking to get board control then at that point?
You definitely want a strong early game, because since the Hunter's hero power is just 2 damage to the face, it's hard for Hunters to clear the board. So you want to have a strong early game, so when they do cast their fast minions, they're more worried about clearing your minions than they are attacking to your face. And if they do end up attacking to your face and you have a strong early game, you can then respond by attacking to their face and controlling your board more easily.
Okay. So you're looking at stuff like Archer Squire, Elven Archer, keeping those low cost clear the board?
I would definitely talk about like Leper Gnome, Undertaker. Undertaker is a great card because it just gets bigger and bigger, and if they don't deal with it, then it just gets out of control. But definitely like Loot Hoarders, Leper Gnomes, one really solid one casting cost spells.
Okay, so things that can kind of trade, but not empty your hands. So you're getting card advantage over them too.
Things that trade and also do something else.
Okay, cool. Like a Mad Scientist would be another great one.
Mad Scientist would be a good one. Acolyte of Pain.
Okay, so do you throw away anything at that point that isn't a cheap board control minion?
Unless it's like a taunt. A good taunt minion is also good against Hunter, because that forces them to have the Hunter's Mark.
Yeah. Okay, so anything that's high casting cost, you just immediately throw out.
Yeah, I'm basically getting rid of all of my high casting cost stuff unless it's like a taunt minion, like a Senjin Shieldmaster or a Sludge Belcher, and then everything else is going to be 1 to 2.
Okay, so say you're playing even something like late game Druid or late game Mage. You're still throwing out all that stuff. So even though your strategy is to get those cards, you're just relying on, hey, if we make it to end game, I'm going to draw those cards later. I just need something to get me there. Is that the idea?
Yeah, you don't want like a Flame Strike. I mean, you're going to be dead before you can cast the Flame Strike. You're going to be at super low health even before you can cast the Blizzard. So you want cards like Mirror Image that stall the game out. You want the Mana Worms that are hard to destroy, hard to get rid of. You want to be able to duplicate things.
Looking to do? Are you looking to get board control then at that point?
You definitely want a strong early game because since the Hunter's hero power is just 2 damage to the face, it's hard for Hunters to clear the board. So you want to have a strong early game, so when they do cast their fast minions, they're more worried about clearing your minions than they are attacking to your face. And if they do end up attacking to your face and you have a strong early game, you can then respond by attacking to their face and controlling your board more easily.
Okay, so you're looking at stuff like Argent Squire, Elven Archer, keeping those low-cost minions that can help clear the board?
I would definitely talk about like Leper Gnome, Undertaker. Undertaker would be a great card because it just gets bigger and bigger, and if they don't deal with it, then it just gets out of control. But definitely like Loot Hoarders, Leper Gnomes, one really solid one casting cost spells.
Okay, so things that can kind of trade, but not empty your hands. So you're getting card advantage over them too.
Things that trade and also do something else.